Hey everyone, it's Carissa Wiley here for EllenHutson.com. Thanks for joining me today. Today we are swinging and sliding right into summer, and I am creating 2 slider cards featuring the brand new June 2019 Essentials by Ellen release. This release is so much fun, and the color palette that I am using is so fresh and fruity. I just love it. So I'm starting out today with a piece of Nina Solar White heavyweight cardstock that measures 4 inches by 5¼ inches, so it's just slightly smaller than an A2 size card front. And I am blending on some Coral Cabana ink from Catherine Pooler using my Picket Fence Studio life-changing blending brush. Now, when I use these, I like to kind of tap my brush on the ink pad and then kind of tap it off on a piece of scratch paper and go in with a light hand. And this is going to give me a really nice, soft ink blending on my cardstock. And I am using a regular cardstock for this. With these life-changing blending brushes, it's really easy to create a nice soft blend, and you don't need to use a special cardstock for that. So I'm going to go low and slow, and I'm going to build up that color, and when I like it, then I'll put my brush down. And I want to tell you that I know that interactive cards can be a little bit intimidating sometimes, but don't let the fact that this is an interactive card kind of turn you off, because these are some of the easiest types of interactive cards to put together. So those funky little dies that you just saw that all look like a bunch of little channels, those are actually the swing and slide dies from the Essentials by Ellen line, and that's what I'm going to be using to create my slider cards today. And I do have some colored images, stamped and die cut and colored images ready to go for my card. These are from the Squeeze the Day stamp set. And I am embossing a sentiment that says, "Just dropping you a lime." I think that is so funny. And I'm going to make the lime drop on this card. That's the fun of this slider card. I've embossed that onto some ebony cardstock from the Essentials by Ellen line. And I prepped the surface of my cardstock using a powder tool first. Then I stamped that in Versamark ink, added my white embossing powder, and then I heat set that. Now this little channel die here is what helps me create the slider portion of this card. And I've just taken that and I've adhered it onto my card front. I've run that through my die cut machine, and now I have my slider channel ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and make my card base here. So I have a piece of 4¼ by 11 inch Nina Solar White cardstock. I've scored it at 5½ inches and I folded it over to create my A2 size card base. Now, because the card front is going to be sitting on this card base, you're going to be able to see that card base through it. So I just added a little bit of ink to help it blend in with the card front that I've created. Now, this right here is one of the things that I would consider to be key in creating a successful slider card. And that is the double layer of foam adhesive on the back side of this card front. That double layer of foam adhesive is going to give enough room for our penny to slide back and forth. You can see I have kind of left an area around the slider channel where there's no foam adhesive so that it won't interfere with my slider function. And I've doubled up that foam adhesive by just folding it over on itself and then placing it on my card front, on the back of my card front. But you knew that already, right? So I'm just adding some of these stamped and die cut images from the Squeeze the Day stamp set. I love this stamp set because it could be lemons, it could be limes, it could be oranges, it could be grapefruit even. It could be whatever you color it to be in the citrus family. It could be a tangerine, so you could put something with like Hello Cutie on there. I think that is so much fun. But for now, I've colored them to look like limes. Now, another key portion to this successful slider is this triple layer of foam adhesive here. So I've added 3 layers of foam adhesive together, and the backer is still on these. Now, while the backer's on, I'm going to turn these and I'm going to put some powder tool on the side of this foam adhesive. That's going to take away any of the stick that might be overlapping onto the side of that foam adhesive that could kind of cause it to catch up in the slider track. Now, I'm also going to add some powder tool to the inside of that slider track, and that's going to help everything to kind of slide really nicely. And you can see I've just placed that triple layer of foam adhesive right inside of the track, and that's going to help me angle my lime just perfectly so that it's going to drop into this kind of grouping of limes in the angle that I want it to. So once I have that lime placed on the triple layer of foam adhesive, I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to remove the backer and I'm going to add a penny to the back of this triple layer of foam adhesive. That penny is going to give this slider piece a little bit of weight and it's going to help it move faster. Now, if your image is a little bit on the small side, sometimes the penny is too large. You can disguise the penny with like a punched circle or a die cut circle if you need to. But in this case, my lime was big enough to disguise that penny. Once I have the penny on the back side, that lime's not going to go anywhere. It's going to be on the card front. And then I can finish kind of decorating my card front here with some oranges and some grapefruit as well. And I'm just making sure that these are not getting in the way of the movement of that lime that I have moving up and down the slider track here. Now this is a straight slider track and it moves really easily. But some of these tips may come in really handy if you're using some of the curvier slider tracks. The other thing that I want to mention is that if you use a round piece of foam adhesive rather than a square or a rectangle, your slider piece can spin within that track as well. So it would spin and slide at the same time, which is a lot of fun. But in this case, I just wanted it to go straight up and down. So I just removed the backer from the foam adhesive and I placed this card front onto my card base, and you can see I have my little lime drop there. Which I think is so much fun. And you can see how well that's moving up and down the slider track there. I absolutely love this. And when I saw that sentiment that says just dropping you a lime, I knew I had to make the lime drop. So let's move on to our next card here. And this is featuring the Good Times stamp and die set along with the new Landscapes die set. And this is a little grass edge here. And I'm die cutting that from some Heidi Swap cardstock or pattern paper that has this bright green color. It's a lot of fun. Once again, I'm going to use my life-changing blending brushes and I'm going to add a little bit of this Coral Cabana on my card front. And once again, this piece of cardstock measures 4 inches by 5¼ inches. Now I'm going to take another one of these blending brushes. This is a little bit smaller one. And I'm going to blend on some Melon Ice ink right along the top of this just to kind of give that border a little bit of depth and dimension so that you can really see it pop off the front of this card. And then I'm going to add a little foil accent onto this card front. Now in order to add this little bit of gold foil detail, I am using my Gemini foil press here and some of the Gemini foil press gold foil. This is a thermal transfer foil. And what I've done is I've just placed my die onto my card front and kind of taped it in place and kind of flipped it up on the hinge. But I found that it wasn't really staying straight. So I just took it off. I added my foil with the pretty side up onto my card front here. And I'm using a T-square ruler to make sure that I have this squared up on my card front because this is kind of a rectangular shaped die. You will be able to tell if it's crooked on the card front. So once I got it straight onto the card front, I went ahead and added some Thermoweb purple tape onto that die and foil piece to hold it in place. And then I'm going to flip this over with the die side down onto the heated platform of the foil press, and I'm going to cover it with the plate that comes with the foil press, and I'm going to start my timer, which is a 10-second timer. Now, once that timer goes off, I'm going to remove the platform from the base. I'm going to pull it out directly, and then I'm going to send it through my Gemini Junior die cutting machine, and that's going to press the foil into the cardstock. So once it's run through, I'm going to show you what this looks like. I do have an entire video on the Gemini foil press and how to use it on the Ellen Hutson channel, so I'll be sure to throw in a card for that here. And you can see when I remove this, I have that really cool foil pattern. Now I did have a little area where I kind of overfoiled. It got in an area that I didn't want it, so I just used an eraser to rub that off. And then I'm going to use some tape runner adhesive to add my grass border onto the bottom of my card front here to where those little gold rays are kind of peeking up above it, which I think is so much fun. And then I'll just use a pair of scissors to trim off the excess. Now, once I have my scene built here, I am going to add my slider track again. And once again, I'm just using that short, straight track, and I'm going to position it onto my card front, and I'm going to hold it in place with some Thermoweb purple tape and run that through my die cut machine, and that's going to create my slider track for me. Now, some of the swing and slide dies have a curve on them that kind of match this grass or landscape border, so that would be fun to use here as well. But I just decided to keep this really simple and use a small straight track, especially because there are a couple of contact points on this little scooter, which, by the way, is from the Good Times stamp and die set. And so I wanted to make sure that this would slide easily. If this was kind of a more condensed piece, I might have tried the wavy track along with this grass border, but because this scooter has a couple of wheels where it kind of makes contact with the card front, I didn't want to complicate things. So just like before, I'm using a triple layer of foam adhesive on top of my penny, and I'm attaching my scooter onto that penny. And then I can flip this over and I can add my double layer of foam adhesive. Now, if you don't want to add your foam adhesive where you kind of fold it on itself and add it to the back, you can just add single layers of foam adhesive and remove the backer and add a second layer on top of it. But notice, once again, I'm making sure that this foam adhesive on the back of my card front is not going to interfere with the movement of that penny. So you'll just want to make sure that you keep everything out of the way of that penny. And I've put this all together. I've added a little heart here and a little dog with some sunglasses. And I finished this off with a little sentiment that says beep beep. And that completes my second slider for today, featuring the Good Times stamp and die set, which is a part of the new Essentials by Ellen June 2019 release. So there you have it, a couple of easy interactive cards to get you swinging and sliding right into summer, featuring the adorable new June release from the Essentials by Ellen line. I love the scooter and the citrus images. They just make my heart go boom. Because my family, I grew up in the middle of a bunch of orange groves, and my family were always citrus farmers. So this stamp set just sings to my heart. As always, I will have links to the featured products in the description at YouTube, so if you're looking for something in particular, be sure to check there. Or you can head on over to the coordinatingellenhutson.com blog post. Over there, I'll have more still shots, more information, a complete list of supplies for you, and all of the Copic markers listed that I use to color these images. Thanks for stopping by today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel here on YouTube so you won't miss any of our paper crafting and card making video tutorials. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.